a little mushy. I'm going to try to maybe excuse me. My first teaching experience, well, it's not the very first, it is the first public class that I had advertised. I had been sharing contact improvisation with people back at school, at university where I was. And, but this was in Point Reyes Station in California, Northern California. And I had told some colleagues and friends that none of them were really dancers, a couple of poets and some theater people and filmmakers, and about contact, and they said, well, would you show it to us if we rented a studio? So I said, sure. So we met together, and I thought I would do with them what Steve Paxton did with us, a bunch of rolling and throwing ourselves at each other and improvising together. And so we started with that, and this one woman who is a very well-known poet and who is my mentor, actually, she couldn't do a forward roll. She couldn't do a somersault forward. Every time her head would come down, it would go up, like, so she couldn't get her head under her pelvis. It would just keep popping up on top. And so I thought that might be significant since she was sort of a thinker. She was a big thinker and mind person and not much of a body person. And anyway, so I was immediately perplexed because I couldn't do what I had planned to do. So I had to improvise teaching, which I think most people have to do anyway. And so I was thinking, gosh, how to get her head under her pelvis, and how could she do contact if she can't do a forward roll? All these questions early on. So I asked somebody to get on all fours on the floor, just hands and knees like this. There's like a watermelon usually. Like this, so that she could hang over them and just have her head be under her pelvis and just get the feeling of that. So we did that, and then I realized that she was already almost through a forward roll. So I guided her head under and held her pelvis up, and she went through. And I thought, wow, that's a really handy, way to help people do forward rolls. So I continued to use this in teaching. Forward, backward, sideways, all kinds of detail, get more detail, more hopping on with your feet and hopping on with your pelvis and all these different things. And it really, I realized, has influenced the dancing itself, the improvising, because when you learn certain forms, you use them when you're improvising. And so, there's a lot of that in contact. But that came from a dilemma in one of my first classes.